Welcome back, everybody. It is Mondays with Micah. We are now in the month of August. The summer is fastly coming to an end, y'all. I'm not happy about it. It's my favorite month of not favorite month, but favorite season is summer for me. And we have a new guest here. This is Alex Russell, and he is here really because something that Judy Hawkins Dunn and I have been discovering as we've been going through this widow walk with other widows and widowers is that we're finding that they are sometimes needing some handyman work, some things done around the yard, and further other things. So we're going to talk about what skills he has and what trades he can do to help you. And I just want to give a little backstory. We had Judy on last month, and she was telling us about her Step of Faith flower farm. She is now blooming. Her flowers are blooming at her house. Her sunflowers she just sold this past week. I think she had 42 flowers that she sold or something like that. So I'm so excited for her. Well, part of her doing some things around the house, she got in touch with Alex. Now, how did that even happen?
So she reached out to me through Facebook,
Okay.
seeing me post on the What's Going On in the Facebook group.
Okay.
And she said they saw that I had pretty high reviews,
Yep.
100% recommended on Facebook.
Excellent.
And they called me and asked me to clean out their gutters.
And so that's where the story began. She was so happy with his work that she posted it. And then she said, Micah, you need to get him on the show and have him tell the audience, anybody, this is not about widows and widowers. We are focusing on that here, but he's here to help anyone who has these types of jobs. But I have to give a little bit of a backstory even further than that I said to him when he got here, I'm like, didn't my husband teach you? Weren't you one of his students for a time?
Yeah.
And it wasn't a very long time.
No, it was only about half a year, but I really enjoyed my time with your husband. Like I said, I didn't have too many friends at the school because of not being there very long. But
Yeah.
during our little breakout sessions, he would always make it make it a point to come spend time with me because I was by myself.
And you played chess, right?
Yeah, we played chess, we played ukulele, we did jump rope.
Oh,
Yeah.
different silly things.
Yeah.
And your sister was there for a good amount of
She
years.
was there for a very long time, from elementary school until late high school.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So she was taught by my mother and my late husband now. And hey, this is the small town stuff here, is that I was like, you're another one of his students, I know it. So good things. There's some past history, and his dad is Dean Russell, and his company is called?
His company is Russell's Repair.
Russell's
Yep.
Repair. Now, what I think he's known for is appliance repair.
He's known for appliances. He works on a fixture is something that's attached to the house but not permanently part of the house, and he works on just about all of them: plumbing, electrical, mostly toilets, water heaters, refrigerators.
So all of
appliance
what a home inspection would cover a lot of times is these smaller appliances that are not on counter appliances. We would call that somewhat of a small appliance. They're larger. Our main functioning units in the house: refrigerator, dishwasher, all of that. And he has been the washer and dryer helper for me. And there is and on some of my real estate deals, his dad has been able to come in and say, can we fix this or replace it? And it does feel like he's a little bit of a broken record now. He's like, how long have you had this, Miss Micah? And I'm like, we're going on 5 years. I would just tell you, they don't make them like they used to.
They don't make them to be repaired.
They don't make them like they used to, and you probably should replace it. And I'm like, that's not what I want to hear, Mr.
Yeah.
Russell. And so he has had to fix a few things and was able to fix it until it broke again, basically. So, which was his thought potentially,
Yeah.
hey, we can fix it, but just know that if this costs you a couple $100, that's a couple $100 knocked off from that new appliance that you could have.
Yep.
And when you start getting up, if you do 2 fixes, you basically paid for a new one. So we really don't recommend that. But what I like about his honesty is that he's not trying to make a sale for the sake of making a sale.
Yeah.
That's his integrity, and I think is why he's continued to be in business today, because I don't want to say it's a dying trade, but
It is because they don't make them to be fixed.
Right.
They, the equipment inside of it is almost as expensive as the equipment itself. Like a motherboard is about half the price of the actual buying a new dishwasher just like it, and then you still have to pay for the labor for him to come out,
That's
take
right.
the thing apart, and put it back together. And he just doesn't want to.
overcharged.
He doesn't want to charge somebody
Yeah.
for something when they should really just go out
Go
and
get
buy
a new
a new
one.
one.
And so, how do you stay in business when you're telling everybody to go get new appliances, but yet he does? Because there's some of us who still do have some older appliances.
Mm-hmm.
And he's keeping them alive.
Yeah.
He's literally reviving these 20-year-old appliances. And we're thankful for that. So Alex has been kind of an understudy indirectly.
I've been working with him since I was like 3 years old.
Okay, so that's an early start. That's an early
Yeah.
start. There's a video of Stone and his dad, and we don't have that many videos because he was 7 when he passed,
Mm-hmm.
but of him painting the back porch.
Mm-hmm.
And they, like, as you see this border here, it was peeling up, and so they had to sand it down and paint it. And he had the long roller, like you'd use on the ceilings or whatever, and he's rolling this out, and he's probably 3. And this little video, and he says, "I'm doing my best. I'm doing my best."
That's so cute.
And so I get that. I
Yeah.
get that you train them young. And then knowing what happened, I'm like, there were some life skills. Like, he remembers painting, and so these little things of these little boys following their dad around, and their dad saying, "Hey, well, if you're gonna watch me, why don't you like give me the wrench," and things like that, are all training in the background of happening. And now you're a father. And how long have you been a father?
We just hit a year in June.
Okay.
Little baby girl.
Little baby girl, and what's her name?
Her name is Melody Grace.
Okay, Melody, I love that name. And so here, Pete Twisdale was here last month, and he's a father. And so these guys that are a little bit younger, it's fun when you remember them younger, and now they're grown enough to have a family and growing a family,
Pete Twisdale's a good guy.
which makes me feel old. But that's okay. We're thankful to still be here to tell the story. So, how long have you been cleaning gutters, and what are some areas that you're focused on, and how can people get in contact with you? Why did you go into this as a side gig? Can you just give a little history for that?
Well, the first gutter I cleaned was when I was working at Ace Hardware when I was 16.
That was my first job too.
Yeah, that wasn't the first.
Did Rebecca
the first
hire you?
job. Oh no, it was I can't remember the guy's name. It started with a D. Dan, the older gentleman that worked in the shoe department.
Don't know him.
Okay, well he hired me to come down here off of Clay Street and
Okay.
clean his gutters out. But he had a bi-level house. He had already cleaned out all the single-story ones, and he thought he was too old to be getting up on a second-story
Totally.
ladder. So he had this ladder fully extended. I'm like shaking the whole way up there, so scared.
my
And I cleaned
gosh.
out the gutters, and I was thinking about that yesterday because I cleaned out that house again all these years later. But
How many years ago was that?
that it was about 8-9 years ago.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Um,
That's where you got your start.
Well, I got my start when I was 11. I wanted to buy something, and my dad said that if I wanted to buy something, I had to go out and get my own money because he didn't have money to give me.
Yeah.
So I said, well, where do I get money from? And he said, you got to go around doing jobs.
In the neighborhood.
Take your wagon and take some yard tools and go around and knock on doors, ask people if they have anything you want them to do. So I did, and everybody said no except for one elderly couple. And he told me that he would give me, I can't remember how much money it was. It wasn't a lot. But he would give me some money to go weed out around his bushes. So me and my neighbor were pulling the weeds out from around the bushes. And about 5 minutes later, his wife gets home and yells at him for breaking child labor laws. And then he gave us both $1, and we went on our way. Well, that was the first dollar I made, and then from there I just kept doing it. And Dad would have customers that said, you know, I wish I had somebody that could cut my grass, and he'd drive me over to their house on the weekends, and I'd cut their grass, or they'd come pick me up from the house and I'd cut their grass, and it just kind of grew from there. When I moved back here to Franklin after joining the Navy, I started picking it up again with my older clients. They'd say, "Oh, you're back in town. Can you cut my grass?" And
Yeah.
I'd say, "Well, sure. I don't mind doing it."
Yeah.
I'd cut the grass after work's over with. And then my wife got pregnant a couple of years later. So to supplement, they wouldn't let her stay on. They wouldn't give her baby leave.
Mm-hmm.
And to supplement her income so she could stay home with the baby for the first few months, I went back to doing yard work, but I added on doing like home maintenance.
Okay.
And it went from a home and yard care business to a handyman business.
Totally.
I started finding that I was making more money, and I was enjoying it a lot more. Because these people would have problems with their houses and they didn't know how to fix it.
Yeah.
But I had a general understanding of how to do it, and I'd fix it there on the fly, and it just made me feel good. To
And
help
they were
other
so
people.
happy.
Yeah, yeah,
Because some of these issues have been probably for a bit.
yeah.
These are how the entrepreneurs are made, right here on the fly. How do you learn how to do something? You improvise. You go on YouTube. You read. You have the luxury. Not saying you have to use it, but nowadays, if you don't know it, you literally can go on YouTube and somebody has videoed how to do it.
Mm.
And if not, then you do it yourself. You start to be the guy videoing how to do it.
Yeah, most of the stuff I do, I have a fundamental knowledge of it already, just because my dad raised me doing maintenance around our house. My dad's a repairman, so I know all the little tools and what
Right.
different types of screws are. And then on top of that, I worked at Ace Hardware,
Yep.
so I really
More
know
knowledge.
the tools and everything, or where to get the stuff from, the different size fittings and all that. But YouTube does help out a lot, because I have that fundamental knowledge. And then, like for example, sprinklers. I didn't know how to do sprinklers, but I did know how to run a water line to a house, and it's the exact same thing. So,
Okay, so since you're bringing sprinklers into this, what are the different areas that you have been able to repair or take care of that the consumer would be calling you for?
So I have Russell's Handyman service, and then I have a subsect of Russell's Handyman service called gutters, drains, and sprinklers.
Awesome.
With the gutters, drains, and sprinklers, I obviously work on gutters. I install them. I have a seamless gutter machine that prints off the gutters custom for your house, and I install them on the roof right then and there. I know how to redirect water away from the house, or standing water, by putting French drains and different types of drainage systems underground, connected to pop-up emitters out in the yard that drain it into either the ditch or whatever low point in the yard.
I mean, that's a little bit like landscaping.
Yeah. I think my business is a kind of a hybrid of landscaping and handyman work.
Okay.
Everything that I do, well, not everything, I won't say that. Almost everything that I do, the average homeowner can do themselves. But
If they want to.
Or
have the ability, like
Yeah,
the physical ability.
Yeah. But the people that I have call me are people that they don't want to do it. They'd rather have somebody else that does it on a reoccurring basis do it, or they just don't have the time to do it. I have the people that don't know how to do it. For instance, electrical work. I have a lot of people that are very scared of electricity.
Yes.
I've worked with electricity since I was a little kid. It doesn't scare me.
Awesome.
Not low voltage stuff.
Yeah.
at least. But so I'm happy to come out and help people with the problems that they're having. Obviously, I'm not a licensed electrician, so there's a limit to the electrical stuff I can do, but I'm a lot less expensive than having an electrician come out to replace an outlet or a light fixture or whatever have you. And I have years of experience. In fact, I worked with electricity in the Navy.
Now, what would you say your average rate is?
Each job is different.
Yeah.
Each job is different. Like for gutters, obviously, anything that I need to get on a ladder for is going to be a little bit pricier than something I wouldn't need to get on a ladder for. Anything that I need to get under a house or into a real tight space, or maybe I have mess all over me, it's anything that's difficult is going to be higher than anything that's simple. Like if I'm just coming out to replace a doorknob, it's not going to cost you very much, but I do have a minimum charge of $100 when I come to the house.
Okay.
And that could cover various small jobs. Maybe you want your door handle fixed, or you want your door handle replaced, but also this door over here is making this squeaky noise and I don't know how to do that. But also, can you put these hinges on the side of my table? Well, I'll do all that for that same $100 that somebody else who just wants the doorknob replaced.
Will charge for it.
As long as I'm not there all day.
Right, totally.
Yeah, but for jobs that I do not know how long it'll take. For instance, I had somebody, they said they want to run electrical out to their shed, or they need help running electrical out to their shed, excuse me. And they want to have a ditch dug out there, and they want to install a bunch of outlets and light fixtures inside the shed. So I told them I'd be happy to help you, but I don't know how long that job's going to take me. It'll cost somewhere between $50 and $60 an hour for that, and that, like I said, that's a job I don't know how long it'll take.
Right. So that's good. So what he's saying is he has some flat rates when they kind of know a little bit, and then there's things that are kind of hourly depending on when. And I've heard people where they give a lump sum and then they kind of undershoot it. Like it ends up taking double the time, and then they're not really equalizing.
Yep.
And you don't want to commit. You don't want to really go back and have to up. You know.
For example, yesterday, I was trimming some hedges for somebody over here in Hunterdale. Well, it was similar to this hedge you have right here, but it went all the way around their house. And from the photos, it just looked like a boxwood bush. And those are pretty simple to cut. They don't resist or anything, so it doesn't take that long to cut them. But when I got there, it was a holly bush. And holly bushes are significantly harder to cut, and they have the pricklers and everything on them. So it took me a day and a half. Like literally, I got there at 10 a.m. yesterday, and I did not leave until 11 p.m. cutting the hedges. And then I was there 4 hours the day before that. Well, I had originally quoted $400 for the job, and that was a job that I thought I could get done in one day, not a day and a half. So I texted her and I said, hey, look, this job's a little bit bigger than I was expecting. I was just wondering if I could charge more for it. If not, that's fine. I gave you that price, and I'll honor that price, and you can pay that price. But they were understanding, and we came to an agreement on how much we could pay for that job.
Well, these are some points. So here we're hearing he does bushes, he does trimming, you do electrical, you do plumbing, you do gutters.
I do almost everything except for painting, drywall, and pressure washing.
Hey, and Mike Wade is the man for that, and we need to get him on here. And most of you may know who he is, but I haven't got him on the show. I feel like, again, there's people that have certain expertise, or they sit in that spot doing outdoor painting, outdoor gutters, pressure washing, those kind of things. You're kind of more, I wouldn't even say indoor, it's indoor and outdoor.
Yeah, I do indoor and outdoor. I wish that I had more indoor jobs. Most people want their outdoor work done because they don't want to do the outdoor work.
Right.
But like I said, I
what about decks?
I do
stuff?
Yeah, I do deck repairs. I do not build decks.
Deck. Okay.
I will build a stoop. I'll rebuild your steps. I'll add on steps. I do small build projects.
Okay.
But I don't have the, I guess,
Equipment.
Not equipment, but I don't have the patience to sit there on a very large job and spend a week and a half doing it. I'm kind of ADD, so like I get the small bursts of gratification.
Yeah.
Boom, I finished that job. Boom, I finished that job. Boom, I finished that job, and I can knock out a whole bunch of them in one day.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now you said you're going back to school, so this is like you're doing multiple jobs right now. Is that what?
Yeah. So I'll be leaving the Navy next week, actually. And starting August 25th is when I go to Regent University for my degree in theology.
Awesome.
Yep.
So, and what do you plan? What do you hope to do with the theology degree? Be a professor? Do you want to be a pastor?
I don't know what I'm going to do with it.
Okay.
The Navy is paying me to go to college.
Awesome.
So I don't want to waste that opportunity. And while I was thinking about all of these different paths I could take that could teach me how to do different tasks, I don't want to go work anywhere. I love to help people. I love
the service industry.
I love waking up. I don't like going to work on the ship anymore. It's not that I don't like the Navy. It's just I like to help the people. I can't see my benefit or the benefit of my actions on the ship, but yesterday after I finished the hedge, the doctor that I was working for, he just looked so happy. And I said, does it look right? I was afraid that it didn't look good enough. And he said, look, this is the best that these hedges have ever looked. And just that gratification, what he said right there, it makes my heart flutter, and I get so happy from that. It's just so satisfying, and it makes me feel good that I'm able to help people do something that they can't or don't have the time to do themselves.
And these are tasks that bog us down. You know what I'm saying? The longer that we're looking at an area that needed help, that we can't do, sometimes financially can't do, sometimes physically can't do. I don't want to use the term neglect exactly, but there's things that with houses that if you don't maintain it, it starts to decline. Yeah. Or get out of control. These bushes right here, my hedges, you can't see, they get out of control. And I had my dad doing it, but now they get too tall and you have to have the extender. And I'm not doing it. I mean, like it's dicey. It's a big hedge. And it really does feel like a man's supposed to do it, basically. So, just to recap, Alex is available. We're going to link his information below. Do people mostly contact you through Facebook, or they text, call? I mean, how do you like?
I would prefer texting and calling.
Okay.
Either one. I don't have a preference over over texting or calling. You can reach out through Facebook. I don't mind that. But I do not get the notifications. For some reason, if you have two Facebook accounts, you have two different Facebook Messenger accounts. And I get my normal Messenger notifications, but I don't get the ones from the other one very often.
So he is available, and even though you're kind of switching some things with school.
Yeah, so schooling is going to be online mostly.
Okay.
So I'll still be doing this full time. It'll just be Fridays that I have to actually go into school and.
Okay.
And
so and your word of mouth. I mean, so you would say your business is by referral, would you say?
Yep, I have a couple of ads that I run, not very many. Maybe like one on Facebook. I ran one on Yelp for a while that didn't help, but I'd say 80% of my work is just from people sharing me around.
And how far do you go in like distance?
It depends on the job.
Yeah.
And it depends on how much I can make from the job to justify traveling out the distance. For instance, my wife and I are going to Chesapeake today to spend some time, but also to go look at this house that a gentleman wants gutters installed on. I don't mind traveling out that far for a gutter job because it's an all-day job.
That's right.
And I can recoup the amount that it takes for me to drive out there and get the job done from that job. But if somebody wanted me to clean their gutters in Norfolk the other day, and I told them I'm sorry, I can't do that.
Far.
Yeah.
So you would say your sweet spot's really Franklin,
Yeah.
Southampton?
Franklin, Southampton, Isle of Wight, any
Do
of
you
the
go into like Como or any of that?
I do go into Como, Murfreesboro, any of those surrounding.
Okay.
We live in Newsoms.
Okay.
So if you're close to Newsoms, I'll go to you.
Totally.
But we service I service the Franklin, Southampton, Isle of Wight counties
area, which is about a 45-minute radius.
Yep, that's right.
And the 45 minutes, not just in Virginia, we go into North Carolina, and then Boykins, Severn, and then on the other side is like Seaboard. Not that many people live over there, but just to let you know, because there's some of our widows are from like Jarrett area, and that's a little bit further trek. But he's saying he will come for the right price and the right size job.
Yeah.
Right size job. Do you have any other thoughts that you want to share with the listeners? And I mean, I feel like you've covered a lot.
Yeah.
Is there any other thoughts you have that you want to share about? I can speak, even though we don't really know each other because of his dad, that you take your job seriously, that he wants to do the work right.
I don't want to have to, no, I don't mean this disrespectfully, I don't want to have to come back out again.
Totally.
Because I want the person to be satisfied with the work that I did the first time.
Yeah.
And even if they're not satisfied with it after I leave, like after I finished trimming the hedges, I told them, look, if you see any sprigs or anything, even if it's just one sprig, you just let me know. I'll come back out and take it out for you. I don't want to leave you with a product that you're unsatisfied with. I don't want to leave you thinking, gosh, I really wish we hadn't have paid this guy to come out and do the work, because I'm really just, I do this not, obviously I need the money to support my family, but I don't just do it for the money. I do it because I really do enjoy helping people.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's that's a school of servant leaders. I mean, really, the people. I'm not giving credit to the Rock Church School for that, but I'm just saying these are the type of caliber of kids that grow into adulthood that we want in this community, that are taking areas that some may say like that's kind of a lesser job, or I don't even want to use that term, but it's kind of, you're growing in it where it's not a 9 to 5. It's not salary. This is a self-employed position. And self-employed positions, I've been in it for 20 plus years now. You kind of have to have a little bit of a hustle. Like until you've built your clientele. And then they are calling you because they don't want to call anybody else. And so that's the beauty of a small town, really, is that we don't have 20 people doing this. We may have 1 or 2. I mean, how many other people do gutters around here?
Not a lot from what I've seen. I saw somebody post something in the group, does anybody do gutters? And I've seen a few people respond that they would do it, but I don't know of any professional gutter cleaners
around here. So we don't have, if you want to say, like he's saying, professional or certified, whatever. We do have certified plumbers. We do have some certified, but there's not that many. I mean, literally like 3 maybe. So we need these handymen to step up, because there's jobs that the certified plumbers really aren't going to take on. It's not enough money.
Yeah.
Or too small of a job.
And if they do take it on, then they'll tell you, look, I can only come out for $200 to fix like a leaky under your sink, when I can come out there and do the same thing for $100.
Exactly.
Or around $100.
So it may be half price from what you would be paying for the certified person. And hey, some of this stuff is not that dicey that you need to pay for that level of someone to do it. But I didn't know else who to call. I mean, I had a plumbing issue where the thing in the back of the tank like literally popped out.
The water tank or the water heater?
No, in my toilet.
Oh, yeah.
The thing with the bubble or whatever. All of a sudden I heard the water running, and I opened it and it popped, and it wouldn't stop. And so, because I live in an older house, the turn-off valve was rusted.
Oh.
I couldn't get it to do anything. So I kind of went into a little bit of a panic, but I called David Jenkins, and he's helped me on other deals. And I was like, I'm a damsel in distress again. And he came, and he had to turn it off at the road. But he had the tool to do that. So he was around, and this is where the Lord continues to protect the widow. I'm telling you. And so he was close enough that he was willing to pop over here and help me out and replace the piece. And I said, could I just put the tank lid back on? Because I just felt like it was going to overflow. So I was holding it. We were holding the thing down because the pressure was like, anyway, it was a little intense. Yeah. So there's been a few minor traumatic moments of like, what if we wouldn't have been home and all this other. He's like, well, if you wouldn't have taken the lid off, it can't keep going. But I just figured it would leak out the side, basically. Which So again, the grace of the Lord to know that I was home, I could make the call, I tuned in. Like, that's not supposed to run like that all the time. Something's going on, and it was. And this is just the aging process of houses where things kind of start to deteriorate. That's just what happens, and we have to maintain things. And the longer we don't do it, potentially the more problematic the job is.
Yeah, I think that something that I notice a lot is people they don't know, and like, you don't know what you don't know. For instance, there's a lot of people around here that don't have gutters on their houses. The point of the gutter isn't to keep the water from dripping on you when you step outside the door. I see some people that only have that gutter right over their front door for when they walk out, and it doesn't hit them when they're walking out. The point of the gutter is to make sure your foundation doesn't fall apart, because that water is seeping in right there underneath your foundation, and enough of that water over enough years just causes your house to start sliding over. Then you get cracks in the wall, you get the busted up cinder blocks under your house, and then you got to pay somebody upwards to $10,000 to come out and replace your foundation or support your foundation, when
right.
you could have just spent a couple hundred, maybe a couple $1,000s at most to put new gutters on.
There you have it, folks. Sometimes, again, we don't know what we don't know. And out here, Edge Hill, I don't want to highlight that neighborhood, but there's a shrink swell. The soil has a shrink swell component to it. And so there is a neighborhood that has more found cracks because they did not really grade it properly for the shrink swell soil. And that has evolved, and it's not like that all over Franklin, but that is something as a real estate agent that I've had to deal with multiple times, and people very scared when they see these stair steps cracks. The width of that crack will let you know if it's a real serious issue or not. And most of the time we say, well, that crack's been there for 50 years. It hasn't really gotten worse, doesn't look good. And so this is a reality with brick homes more, I would say. More of a...
I'd say brick homes are a little bit more sturdy, but I think that a crack in the wall on a brick home seems to be a lot more dangerous than on a siding house, because you have all the wood holding the rest of that house together. But with this one, the brick is your
exactly. So this has been great. We are 35 minutes in, 32 minutes in. I think that's plenty. I was hopeful we would get to about a 30-minute thing, and this is great. We're going to link your information. I would love for y'all to call him. I mean, if he could get 10 jobs out of this, that would make me happy, because we're here to, it's team. It's really building a team of resources where each one is helping the other. We're about the Widow Walk here, which is growing resources so that you know what is available. And not everybody may be on Facebook to see him posting sometimes on certain things. And so it is word of mouth. And a lot of times I've found that people assume that they assume somebody already knows about you. So they don't even think to tell you because it's common.
Yeah, that's why I try to put myself out as much as possible. Like I said, I don't like spending too much on ads.
Yeah.
But I'm on Facebook. I'm on Yelp. I'm on Google. I have a 5-star rating on Google.
Excellent.
I'm sure there's a few other platforms that I'm on, but those are my main 3.
Awesome. So that is good, because people we use Google to ask questions. Who's the best in Franklin for this or that? And now his stuff's going to pop up because he's kind of developed that a little bit further, and that helps for the search engine keywords and all that kind of stuff. So the older generation doesn't need to understand any of that. We're here to help. And so you have any final words?
Nothing I can think of.
Okay, all right. Well, we're going to say bye and tune in next week. I'm hoping to get a plumber in here. So we are going to hit a few different facets of how to take care of your home. And if I can get all the plumbers in Franklin, Southampton, I would love to, but they're pretty busy and don't always want to sit down with a video camera recording them talking. So I thank you, Alex, for being willing to do it here on a Sunday, and they need to go and get to their next appointment. So we'll see you next time. Bye.